so many very, very, very good songs this year at Eurovision. I'm gonna put all the songs on my playlist. Oh my goodness me. What a stunning performance. Kia ora and welcome. My name is Amish TV and I'm your vocal coach for today because we're going to be taking a look at Linda Lapenius and Pete Parkkonen. I really should have read that in advance. I'm very, very sorry. With a name, unfortunately, that I can't pronounce, I want to say Liikenheiten. Probably incorrect, but they're from Finland, so I don't speak Finnish. So let's take a look at what they're up to with their vocal technique. We're going to see what are they doing with these beautiful voices, how are they creating these sounds, and most importantly, how on earth can you create these sounds at home? Let's just get straight to the video. Oh, before I get there, if you're interested in more Eurovision analyses of awesome vocal technique, then hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you around here more often, and honestly, it really does help to grow my channel, to help more people like yourself with their vocal technique. I'm all excited just because the thumbnail looked amazing. I've got no idea what this is going to sound like. We always love a really strong beginning. Oh my goodness me, let's just watch that again. Love that glottal onset. Can you hear? Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Thicker vocal folds. I almost think that there's a little bit of cricoid tilt going on. Now, cricoid is the bit that sits below, or the cartilage, not the bit that sits below the thyroid cartilage, and it tilts back to make the vocal folds thicker than thick. And that's what creates this louder sound, or what you might often heard to refer to as belting. So let's just go back on that, because you can hear ba-da-ba-da-da-da, this wider mouth position as well. So many very, very, very good songs this year at Eurovision. Okay, I said wide mouth position, and then obviously he didn't end up doing that. But we had ba-da-da-da-da, that interval down, ba-da-ba. It wasn't a dragging that sound up there. You could see the larynx went up to meet the second note before he hit it. And that's why having a flexible larynx is so important. Let's just go back on that so you really watch that. Like, what? I don't know why I put my tongue on there. You see this well, and also these neck muscles were engaged there. Now, we don't always have to engage the neck muscles quite that much, but if we're going from and kind of going into more of a belting posture in those top notes, we do want to be utilizing these, what we call anchoring muscles, which are the sternocleidomastoids, these big ones that kind of like hold our head in place. And these are what we're using to stabilize these smaller muscles within the getting ahead of myself, sorry. I'm so excited to stabilize these muscles inside the larynx. Okay, so I'm not even going to attempt to say what he's saying. It's in an, well, you could say an easy part of his vocal range, but that's also probably due to his training, his voice type, a whole bunch of different environmental factors kind of come into there as well. And so we've got this da-da-da-da. Did you hear all of that volume came out of the sound? He's in a thicker vocal fold. more of a speech quality sound or chest voice sound here. And you can hear the timbre difference between that first like call that he did at the beginning and this section of the song. That's what makes me even think like even more that first bit was definitely belted and now he's gone into the chest voice part of his voice. So we've got this, can you hear where he's also like got almost like a little bit of constriction coming into that sound. That could be due to so many different things. Sometimes it is due to when the larynx goes up, the whole space inside the larynx, well, inside the throat becomes like a little bit tighter. You know, we actually don't have a hell of a lot of space in general inside the throat when we're singing. And so as the larynx goes up, sometimes, and this is probably an effect that he's wanting in the sound, that area will close even more. So we're him. This sounds like quite an easy part of his vocal range until he starts getting into this pre-chorus. I really don't know who's going to win Eurovision. I am just like, I'm going to put all the songs on my playlist. Okay, so did you see the energy change there from even the pre-chorus to the chorus? Now, there was also, because of the outfit that he's wearing, we also saw those fabulous muscles engaging more in that chorus section. And so when we go into a louder voice quality, often we need more effort going into the body so that it creates a greater subglottic pressure here at the level of the vocal folds, which makes the sound louder for us without us putting the pressure here on the voice, because that's what we don't want. These are like teeny tiny, right? Like the vocal folds are the size of your pinky fingernail. Okay, so they're very, very, very tiny. Male vocal folds are a little bit bigger than that. And so we've got like 11 to 15 liters of air here in our lungs. And if we're pushing all of that up to the vocal folds, that's like recipe of a disaster. So that's why we get more muscular effort going on in that chorus. Let's just go back on that, because I also feel it's probably due to the lyric as well. Miten tunteet vois jäädyttää, kun sä oot liekin heikin. Oh, saat mut palamaan. Saastut parempaan, oot niin kuuma, mut jää kylmää. Sä oot. That was just so beautifully done. The level of singing at this year's Eurovision is absolutely fantastic. Like, we've just got such seasoned performers going into this, and I don't even need to know their backgrounds to know that these people are very good singers. There is a continuity in the sound. There is like a flexibility to their pitches, a flexibility to their larynx. You know, this sound is just absolutely fantastic. So we've got this kind of we're hearing more of that cry come into the sound there, and I don't even need to understand the lyrics to see that like torture or hear it in the sound, okay? And so that happens when the thyroid cartilage, so where the Adam's apple is, tilts forward to allow the vocal folds to lengthen. And that's the main difference between speaking and singing, but also one of the main differences for us to go higher in the range in this louder voice quality. Voiko ihminen kuolla kiimaan? Aina kun ollaan ihoa vasten, mä saan sut palavan noja kolmannella Okay, I really can't comment on her violin skills because honestly, I learned violin for like 10 weeks in my life and it sounds lovely. We've got like a full sound. I would have to ask one of my violin playing colleagues to comment on the quality of her playing, okay? So, but when we're talking about this second verse here, look, I also can't really comment on his articulation there, but from what I can hear, it sounds like it's good. Finnish just sounds like it's full of consonants and like it doesn't sound like there's a hell of a lot of vowel for us to sing off. And like in English, for example, we would tend to spend more of the time on the vowel, but I feel like this is very text heavy. And in that articulation work, we're wanting to make sure that we're strengthening the muscles as well and not just able to say the words really quickly, but also able to strengthen the different muscles of like the tongue and the teeth. You can't strengthen the teeth, but the lips and those connections between. So actually, if you would like my free training exercise to work on your articulation muscles, you can check it out in the description below. It's honestly changed the singers inside the Vocal Academy's lives. Like they're saying to me, holy shit, Zoe, I literally practice this for like 2 minutes a day while I'm making myself a cup of coffee, and my singing has all of a sudden got like 100 times better.
Voiko ihminen kuolla kiimaan? Joo, aina kun ollaan ihoa vasten, mä saan sut palavan noja kolmannen asteen. Oh dear Lord, saako vielä yhden kasteen?
Oh, I got that one. See, oh dear Lord. Yeah. But no, I'm just kidding. I just think it's so beautiful to see so many different languages being sung at this year's Eurovision. It just really warms my heart. I don't need to understand the lyrics in order to feel the feeling that's going on within the song. And I can look them up later if I really wanted to, but I like to get that feel without kind of like getting caught up in all those details, especially at the beginning. So we've got ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We've got pretty much no vibrato going on in that sound. And that's signaling to me that thyroid is in a more vertical position. Now, what we've been working on with the students inside the Vocal Academy this month is actually on exactly that with thyroid tilt. When we have more of a vertical thyroid, so when we don't sound more sung in this like lower part of the range, it can also help you or singers or us or everybody to get a thicker vocal fold contact and actually give you somewhere to take the song to. So you got this ba da 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 rather than starting with da 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 da. There's almost like, firstly, there's a timbre change, but it also almost goes a little bit quieter when we start to do more of the singing. So that's what I love to teach students, like right at the beginning of to find that vertical larynx position, because it really does help to find that chest voice. Oh, I've got a 3-day Find Your Chest Voice challenge. If you would like to work on this part of your range, it's down in the description below. You hear that? Hey, just a tiny amount of vibrato. Even in that last little bit, there we go. You hear that time? But not only you got a little bit quiet, a little bit breathy, but also just sounded more sung in that moment. We can use the thyroid tilt to bring warmth to the sound, and it also helps us to work on our vibrato as well. So if vibrato is something that you are struggling with, because I know that that's what a lot of singers come to me to say, hey Zoe, can you help me with my vibrato? Working on the thyroid tilt is an absolute must, because vibrato, like it will appear to your voice when we have a balance of the vocal fold closure and the breath flow. We can't actually like bring on vibrato into the sound otherwise. Can we just take a moment for the fact that she just went down into a split squat? holding the violin and continued playing. Like if you try to do that without holding a violin and without actually doing anything, that is extremely difficult. And we are looking at these beautiful muscles on this woman to show that she's obviously working out. She's very strong. So this is, this is something that has been trained for due to her level of strength and her, that the fact that her muscles can do this takes a lot of balance and a lot of core work as well. And especially even to be able to walk and sing at the same time. I know she's playing the violin, but to walk and sing at the same time requires a lot of effort in terms of holding back the muscles so that they don't just let all the air out. Oh my goodness me. What a stunning performance. And wow, I really love to see that, first of all, like the stage was given equal measure to both of those performers, that we also saw the violinist taking, the main position there, and especially at the end, having her moment as well. It's just so wonderful to see a team performing in that sort of way. Just personally, I just really love it because I really like to see duets actually, and especially with other instruments. I really love that. So at the end there, I'm not really quite sure where he got to, but he sort of like stilted a little bit on that first, wherever he got to at the end there in the head voice. That's really what it means about having a flexible larynx. We want the larynx to rise in terms of the pitch, but we also want to be able to thin out the vocal folds as we're going further up in the range. And that's a relatively difficult exercise to do, but you could start with a siren exercise, for example, like a to help to thin out those vocal folds. But what often happens as singers like go higher in the range is they start to push, they start to use those extraneous muscles, and we're really wanting to like hold back the breath. It's a little bit more challenging than for me to just explain it in this one video. So if you are interested in learning about how to take either your chest voice higher or even transitioning from your chest voice into that head voice, that is something that we need to look at in one-to-one lessons. So you can apply using the link in the description below. Oh my goodness me! I'm not going to try and pronounce their names again. So I'm very, very sorry. But we've got Linda and Pete. Absolutely stunning performance. I'm so excited to see what is going on the Eurovision stage in Vienna, because like if it's even bigger than that, like how could it get bigger than that? You had fire. Like I was worried about her hair, to be honest. I mean, my hair is very short, yeah, but like that beautiful long hair and it just fire makes me a little bit nervous. So let me know down in the comments who you think's going to win Eurovision this year. I'd love to hear from you, and please do me a massive favor and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me to grow and to help more singers like yourself with their vocal technique. Anyway, I'm going to bugger off. Check out some more Eurovision up here, and I'll see you right next time. That's just put me in a good mood. Happy singing, Kakitiano.